What's going on, Hoonigan viewers? Let me ask you this. Are you the type of person that winds up in a ditch sideways with a lot of people recording you on their phones? Do you perhaps own a C4 Corvette and drive it like it is an actual race car? So if you've got race car dreams, but more like a Mustang leaving a car show skill set, we've got the solution for you. Here at Hoonigan, we're offering you a chance to you crows. We're offering you a chance to win an all-expense paid trip to Skip Barber Racing School, where you can learn how to not understeer or crash into things, look tight as where you can stop acting like you know how to drive and actually be able to drive. Here's how you enter. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/Hoonigan. Sign up for a new subscription to Dollar Shave Club. Then go to Hoonigan.com/DSC. Follow the steps on that page. After that, you're done. But hurry, contest ends soon.
All right. We're not getting arrested. We actually just had lunch, and now we've driven to an undisclosed location where Juan Carlos has the pretty much, not the rest of his collection because he still has a lot of cars spread all over the place, but this is one of the places that he stores a lot of his cars. He was actually showing us this Mercedes, the Hammer. Show us this Mercedes.
Okay.
So what is this thing exactly?
Okay, this is a 1990 Mercedes SEC, built by AMG pre-merger, but with pretty much every single option that they could put on a car. It's got a special differential, bigger brakes, the wide body, upgraded interior to Recaro seats in Mercedes leather. From a 5.6, they made a 6-liter, and they made 4 valve per cylinder heads specially for this motor. The earlier ones, they had a cylinder head that said AMG on it, like the race cars, and I haven't seen another one with these heads in the United States or in books. The AMG book that is that fat, it doesn't have this car with this motor on it. Wow. And they're only for this motor. They won't fit any other engine.
Wow. And so this thing actually has over fenders from the factory stock?
Made by AMG, everything is you know, they do everything, like they blacked the whole car out. They painted the car. The car was originally white. AMG painted it black, and they put the different fenders, the different quarters.
Yeah, I mean, even all of this stuff, dual overhead cam, 6-liter. And the wheels are stock too?
Factory wheels of AMG wheels.
The interior is so clean.
Oh, yes.
And it smells so nice. Wow, 62,000 kilometers. Wow.
Yeah.
I love the floor mats too.
Yeah.
Can we check out the engine bay?
And this car, the whole build, I have the papers. My daughter speaks German. She was able, it's a long story, but she was able to speak to people in AMG in Germany. And a person actually went to their files, because since it was pre-merger, they had it in files, not in computer, and pull out and make the copy of the build of the car from Mercedes and from AMG in Germany. And the build of the car was more than the price of the car. It has a custom stereo with woofers, everything done and speakers inside the panels, everything done by AMG.
Unbelievable. I love that it's just sitting out in the rain here. It's such a beautiful car. I mean, it really is German muscle. This is it. This is German muscle car.
This car drives smoother than my wife's new Mercedes. And I suppose something has to do a little bit with the fatter sidewalls, but it's just such a solid. This is when a Mercedes felt and smelled like a Mercedes, you know?
Wow, it's so cool. I just love it. I love the blacked out look, and the only thing on this car that has silver metallic is
the emblem.
That badge, the emblem. What a great looking car. Mm-hmm. And this parked next to your Z28.
With some suspension and stuff, like, you know, and wheels. 1970 GTO Judge, 4-speed with air.
Oh, I love this so much.
This is a 599 with my logo here.
Oh, Ferco Motors. Hey, this is probably a good time to kind of talk to the audience about what you do. Juan is not a drug dealer, okay? If you, as much as you
never
guys,
been.
No, never been. He actually came
or
from,
a user.
and came from really, really humble roots. Shoe salesman, used car salesman. How much you're telling me this story? You started with what? $2,200 in your pocket and started buying used cars.
And my wife got me a line of credit. I guess she lied and got me an $8,800 line of credit, and that's how I started while I was going to college and selling shoes. And I bought a car and sold it, and that's little by little. Yep.
So now Juan does a lot of wholesale, but the crazy thing about him is that he can deal with Bugattis, and he can deal with Honda Civics, and he can deal with Toyota Camrys and 4Runners. He knows them all. And that's one of the reasons why he knows so much about these cars, is because you have to sell everything and everything and everything and anything and everything with cars.
I really know about it because I love cars. The side of the business is a little different, than actually my love for cars and that stuff. You need to know it, because if you don't know what something's worth or what to look for, then you can miss out on a deal or make a mistake when you buy them,
Yeah, so put the description here. If you guys want to buy anything and you're in the Miami area, Farraco Motors, hit them up.
Great cars at the best price. And we stand behind what we sell. My wife works there, my daughter works there. It's a family business, and we're out to make people happy and give them a great deal. We're not out to hurt anyone at all. If you're not happy with a car, we'll take it back.
And yeah, if you don't want to buy a car from a non-car guy, this is the car guy right here. So yeah.
Thank you.
I see a Buick GNX that you were mentioning. Oh my God. Talk about beauty and talk about rarity. This is it. And also a perfect copy too, huh?
Yes, this car is fantastic. They made a total of, actually the tag says it all, a high performance investment for the fortunate 547, which they had 547 dealers in the United States, and they allocated one for each dealership. They put a ceramic turbo on it with ball bearings, and then it had a special rear end that was aluminum, and then it had Stuart Warner gauges.
The interior is so clean. This is really the trend here. Every single one looks brand new on the interior and exterior and all of that. All of the buttons, all the switches, everything works. This is so cool. What a gem. I love this I love these cars so much.
They drive real nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we haven't even got inside.
No, we're gonna go inside.
Oh, here it comes. Oh, my head's about to explode. All right, here's the little office area. Oh, I already see something interesting here. We got Jeff Gordon.
A high performance forklift.
Yeah, Toyota forklift. But we got Jeff Gordon body damaged NASCAR panels.
From a Watkins Glen accident that he had.
Okay, all right. Esteban, what's behind you? It's a lot of cool cars. I know, man. Oh my goodness.
The wheels that I had over there in my house are for this car here.
Oh, so a lot of these are the original wheels.
The original wheels for a lot of those cars. Yeah, right. Correct.
That's so cool that you keep all the original.
Yeah, got us the magnesium wheels for the F40.
I can definitely tell that we're not in California because you're storing all this stuff. This would give me a nightmare. In California, all this stuff would fall off during an earthquake.
Oh, this is Michael Schumacher's when he came down to race in Las Vegas for the World Championships in karting. So this is one of his original cars, one of the ones that he used. He had, I think, two, and this one says MS2.
Of course, this was Michael Schumacher's, and of course, you have this hanging on your wall. Have you driven this thing?
No, I haven't. Here we got 69 Z28 Rally Sport. Sounds really, really, really nice. You should see how it sounds. It's got the original mini lights from when they raced them in Trans Am in the 60s.
Oh.
It's got the original cross ram with the 2.4 barrels.
It's crazy because on all of your a lot of these old cars, the foam is already gone. This is brand new.
Right. We might have had to replace it a couple times,
No, but that's kind of the thing is you go out of your way to kind of have those little details.
Yeah.
So that's a real DP.
It's a real DP car.
Wow. So then when you're done with this is gonna have like the headlight buckets that come out.
No, this one will not. This one will have the pop-up. This is not that model. This is the other one. Yeah.
Okay. But it's still cool that it's a street car.
Yep, in the street car. Really, really wide with really wide, BBS wheels.
Of course, you have a Pantera. What is this, a GT5?
This is the GT5S. This car's got very, very low miles. And I have the original motor, but now it's got like a NASCAR base motor, probably around 700 horse.
What do you have up here?
This is a collector's edition. I always wanted one of these when I was young. When I drove it, it was a little disappointing how slow it was. Worked it a little bit. There's a special intake that lets more air into the cylinders and put a little bit of a cam in it, but it's got to be a very, very mild cam to keep the personality of the car. It's just, you don't hear it. It's just a little more lift and stuff like that to actually make it quick.
And that's kind of one of the themes of your cars. Everyone is modified in some way to make it better, but also you still keep all the stock parts.
Oh yeah, and if you look at it, you can't tell. If you look at the motor and stuff, unless you're really, really, really sharp, hey, that's not the intake, it's underneath the thing, and it sits the same inside the hood without a hood scoop or anything like that.
All right, and what do we got here?
Okay, this is a 1970. This car won the Mopar Nationals before I bought it. A 1970 Cuda, 440 six-pack pistol grip. It's one out of, I don't want to quote exactly, but I think it was 3. One out of 3 that was red on red with a red elastrometric bumpers.
Oh.
They're called, these bumpers, this is an option. So they were chrome. You could get chrome in the back, rubber in the front. They was totally, you could go either which way. Chrome in the front, rubber in the back. And with these cars, you can't clone them. You know, Chrysler keeps records of all these cars. And when you pull the record, you can't fool anyone. So elastrometric bumpers, everything red, the interior red, the pistol grip that they call it. This is also like a very, very rust-free, amazing car.
See, these, I really can appreciate these. And over the years, since I've been doing a lot more work for Hot Rod Magazine, I've been able to really appreciate how cool these are and how they sound and how they feel and they smell. And wow, look at that logo.
Yeah, but you know what about this car? That like this car originally, you see what they did was when they needed to add something. See, it has so many options that the trim tag is full. So they would put a little piece of metal to be able to scribe something. I'm sure if you take the paint off, it's got like a scripture of something else that it has.
Yeah.
Because it's got like this that is really rare, which is this is all optional. Very rare to find in one of these cars. When you put the blinkers on, this will light, and you can see that the blinkers are lighting.
Oh,
like, you know.
Okay.
But look at how the screws on this car haven't even been turned, you know?
Yeah.
This car didn't have any power steering, so it was like a bear, you know, hard, and it had those wheels right there. Polyglass tires and no power steering, and it was so difficult to drive, so.
Those right there. Wow.
So I had these wheels done.
They look great.
It's like a resto mod, but on a real car. Not on a Barracuda that was turned into a Cuda, you know?
We got a beautiful Chevelle up
That's
here.
a 70 LS6, big sway bars and stuff like that to make it handle.
Every one of these is pretty much ready to go.
It's made to drive.
Yeah.
It's made to drive.
This is a kind of an oddball, a Saturn Sky, huh?
Uh-huh. Yeah, but this is the king of oddballs.
What?
Yeah. This is a car made by Mallet. I think they made like a handful, 2 or 3 or something. And this is a Saturn Sky with a Corvette Z06 engine on it.
Wow.
And it handles, these cars are very, very good handling cars.
Well, I'll tell you what, I have kind of a soft spot for these. A good friend of mine competed in Formula Drift for many years with this car. So I love the way these look, especially the taillights, I think are such a special part of this car.
I like this one better than the Solstice. You know, the Sky I think is a prettier car. Mallet would, in conjunction, I think he had a connection with General Motors, with Chevrolet, and with, or whatever, Pontiac and General Motors. So he would get these cars, put the motor, in this case, the Z06 V8, with a dry sump motor, put a Tremec 6-speed, and you know, do suspension on it, do brakes, and it drives and handles unbelievable. Unbelievable. There's Mallet on the back there.
I just love that you have such a different collection versus like, yeah, obviously you have a lot of American cars.
Yeah, serial number 4.
A lot of European cars too. You got a beautiful Stingray up here.
Mm-hmm. That's a 70, 454, 4-speed with air and power windows, soft top, hard top over there. Took out the motor, the original motor, original transmission, original everything. Took out the motor and made it like a 470 something. And it's very, very fast, really cold AC. AC from factory sucks, so you gotta take out the factory unit and put something modern. Doesn't overheat, so it's a great drive. And then you get the wheels that look like the factory, but they're actually aluminum.
Oh, wow. They look great.
You see the factories are sort of, well, they're in there somewhere, but they look like steel wheels with trim rings. They're actually aluminum wheels.
And again, kind of the same thing. You
Yeah.
got the Pro Touring.
Another 70 Z28.
You got a lot of 70s, like 70, 1970
Because 70
cars.
is the pinnacle of muscle cars. To me, it's the best year for that kind of stuff. Emissions came in and compressions came down and smaller valves on the heads. And when you look at the fastest cars of the muscle car era, 1970 was the one. Some 71s maybe. Or in this car, what I wanted to do is like people that would drag race and race in the street would have was the center lines and centerline wheels. So I tried to make something like I would have wanted to have when I was young. And I gave it that draggy look.
That looks so cool.
Took out the motor and made it a 373, and it's really fast. This car's got a lot of power.
And the underside is just so clean. Really does show that each one of these cars run and drive. And I'm sure all of them, the battery's charged and ready to go. And so I do have a question for you. You keep all the stock parts on all of these cars. Have you ever returned a car to stock?
No, never. I really don't sell my cars.
Right, but
You know, I mean-
you just get more cars and more space.
Exactly. You know, I just keep them the way I like them usually. You know?
Yeah, but that's
I'm hoping somebody can appreciate it if I ever sell it that way. You know.
But that's kind of the thing, is that's part of your collection, the fact that you have the stock parts, plus on top of that, with each one of these cars, you try to get as much memorabilia, posters,
yeah.
magazines, pretty much anything and
Books,
everything.
models, you know, the little models and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
You probably have quite a collection for all the, for example, like the F40, you pretty much have every single.
Every article, every model, every book, all the magazines, the suit, the bags for it that were optional.
So tell me about this 2002.
This car actually came from California. Supposedly one of the heads of one of the BMW clubs in California somewhere, I don't know exactly where, this was his car. So this is a TII with a conversion of a 5-speed to it. And they put the more modern in leather, you know, the seats from a more modern car. I don't know exactly what years they're from.
So this one has the round taillights?
Roundy.
Wow, it's so clean.
Factory AC. Actually, it's a cold factory AC.
It's crazy because I mean, a lot of people don't understand how brutal the Florida summers are here. So when you say the AC is cold, which means I'm sure you've driven this in the summertime.
Yeah. Yeah, but if
really
not, it's just no fun going out and sweating, you know.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. What a cool print of that. And it's 3 people racing it.
Navigator, the guy, the throttle guy, and the guy that steers.
You got another beautiful Stingray here.
This car is like really like one of the jewels of my collection. This is about as clean a car, and it drives like a brand new car. Also factory AC. We bought it from a guy that didn't finish the project. He had painted the car but hadn't finished it, and we went ahead and finished it. And the motors, yeah.
Wait a minute, that says Frigidaire?
Yeah.
Like the
Like the
refrigerator?
refrigerators, yeah. That was the brand of the compressors. But this car drives like a brand new car. No squeaks, no rattles.
The interior looks like it's never been used.
The interior, actually, I just couldn't stomach putting the interior, the factory color. Factory color, the interior is dark green, and I just couldn't do it. So, you know, I went with off-white. Look at how cool the telescopic wheel.
Ooh.
You see?
Wait, what is that, rubber?
No, this is the way it is.
Oh.
You go like this if you want, you know, a telescopic wheel of, that's an option. Everything on these cars was an option. Suspensions, motors, everything could be an option, and this was one of the options. And then it's got like hidden stereo, or the stereo's modern. You can use, you know, iPod and all that stuff. And sit in this car for a moment so you can see how it smells in there.
Okay, all right.
It feels like you're driving a...
Okay, we just had sushi, so I smell like fish. So
That's good,
this
man.
is gonna be... Oh, Okay, so this is kind of one of the things that I always talk about, and I'm sure you probably agree with me too. Sitting in a car like this really is like a time machine. Because back in 1966, somebody sat in this very seat, had the same sensation and the smell, and the fact that the touch, I mean, like this super thin steering wheel, like all this old style stuff. It's a time machine. I've had a chance to drive one of these, and it's almost like it just feels like it has just as much power in every single gear.
Yep.
So much power.
Linear, super ultra linear.
Yeah. And of course, this is sitting next to
Jeff
Gordon's
car.
actual NASCAR.
Oh yeah.
How many of these do you own? How many NASCARs?
4.
They're just for collecting, or?
No, I drive them. This one I haven't driven, but I have a Montoya car that I race in Homestead and open track events. I have a Truex Earnhardt Jr. car that I also track there, and I have.
Okay, so we're here for the NASCAR finals at Miami Homestead. It's just so crazy that you have 4 of these cars. But then, so, I mean, you must be a big NASCAR fan then.
Not really. I'm not. I just bang for the buck and safe racing. I have an article there from Road and Track. Bang for the buck and driving one of these cars, you can't beat it. It's the sound, the power, and all that stuff. What got me hooked is a friend of mine was selling one that he had restored. He had bought from the Dale Earnhardt Museum, and he had put an Earnhardt motor on it, and I went out and I drove it, and I said, man, this is wonderful. So I ended up with 4 of them. I have a Chevy. I have 2 Chevys, 1 Dodge and 1 Ford. And the Ford is a Rusty Wallace Harley Davidson car that is set up for road racing.
All right, so we got 2 more cars up here. We got a 993.
993 C2S with a supercharger.
As you do.
Yeah, I gave it to my daughter. She drove it and she loved it, so I'm keeping it for her there. All original paint, very low mileage car, fairly low mileage car. I think it's got 40s or something. And it's the wide body, so it's nice.
And then what about the Mustang?
Well,
Boss
this
302.
Boss 302 is actually famous in the area because it used to be from a guy that went to high school with us. So everybody that went to high school with us used to remember the guy racing. So eventually another friend of mine ended up with it, and then I got it. But when I got it, I wanted to make it look just like the orange Z28. I wanted to make it look and drive and feel like one of the original Trans Am cars. It's got a built 302 motor, and it's got like little trick things like special suspension in the back, and it's got the front bumper looks original, but it's extremely thin from the Trans Am days where they made it thin just to weigh less.
Oh man. All right, let's finish up on this, the Renault 5 Turbo 2. It's one of those things where these cars have just gone up in value like crazy, huh?
Yeah, they have. There was a French guy that had all the parts for Renaults here, and he will import the parts. The guy one day crossing the street 25 years ago got run over, so there's no parts for Renaults here that I know of. These cars were finicky with a fuel injection system, so I turned it into electronic fuel injection. It's got its original motor, transaxle, blah, 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 but now it's a lot more efficient because it's electronic fuel injection. They had different levels of performance. This one had a little more horsepower because the intercooler was fatter, brought those gaudy wheels, which they seem to be really, really rare. See where it says gaudy?
And it's crazy that it actually has that.
Yeah, so it's 5T. So it's like optional. I'm sure they're factory, but I don't like to talk about what I don't know, but it says 5T, like 5 turbo.
Right.
And it had a full aluminum roll cage from factory.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah, from factory brought the roll cage.
That is unbelievable. I don't even
and
know
I've
what
never
to
seen
say.
any other one either with a factory roll cage like that.
Well, I mean, this is kind of one of those cars that if you're driving it, nobody even knows what this is.
People go like that and say, what the hell? I think it's a Toyota.
Yeah. I can't thank you enough for showing us your collection. And let's be honest, this is not your full collection. You have many more cars spread all over Florida and who knows where. But this is kind of one of the things, guys. Hard work pays off. Like with car photography, or photography in general, or car salesman, or shoe salesman, you put in the hours and you put in the will, you will have success, right? all day, every day, people ask me, hey, how do I get into car photography? No, whatever. Stop asking, go do it. Get off your couch, go do it. And I'm sure it's pretty much that same motto for you.
Absolutely, but you know, if you're ambitious, and I was never unhappy when I didn't have any of this stuff to begin with. That's the best thing. I was never unhappy because somebody else had it or I couldn't have it or whatever. And this is all real nice and I enjoy it, and I come here and actually it's like I'd rather look at these cars than a painting, because that for me they're wonderful. You know, when you have peace of mind and when you're surrounded by good people, that's really winning. Winning and being successful is not having a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't want to get, you know, mystic on this, but you know, it's nice to have stuff, but it's nice to have the peace of mind and knowing that you did it the right way. You didn't screw anybody over to make it, and that's where you really can enjoy your stuff. You know, you have a good family around you, and that's it.
With that said, I think that's a wrap. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the content.